So
All
here
right.
we are.
All at once.
What were we just talking about? Parachute pants?
Yeah.
Y'all were talking about parachute pants. I have never owned a pair of parachute pants a day in my
I
life.
told
Talking
you,
about how you're jealous.
I haven't had parachute pants since '89. Matter of fact, I had one pair, and I didn't pay for them. They were given to me. And they didn't fit, so I didn't wear them but like once or twice. I just wasn't set up for parachute pants. I was more of a Levi jeans, cowboy boots guy back in the day.
I was fixing to ask a young man from Summertown with parachute pants that
Really good with that members only jacket, though.
oh my gosh, you had one of them too?
That was his natural
No, that
outfit.
was though. No, I'm not going to get. You're not going to reel me in on that topic again. We've already talked about that a bunch of times on this show. It's common knowledge around the county that I didn't have one, and that was always a problem in school. And it's the reason why I was a delinquent in school.
Because you didn't have a members only.
I got in fights because I didn't have a members only jacket. See there? Now you know.
I'm not going to mention how many signs of deception we just seen in the past 20 seconds, but I'll take your
No,
word.
man, I didn't. Anyway, I mean, this is the law enforcement hour. We
Okay.
need to be talking about law enforcement stuff, not parachute pants in 1989.
I agree. How are you, sir?
Better than I deserve.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant O'Rourke, he's my training. What is your official title?
Well, I made it up, so it's
Assistant.
it's Departmental Training Development and Standards.
Nice. What's that acronym?
I
You
depart.
said it too fast.
Yeah, he said it way too fast. I was just sitting here thinking he almost said more than I have to say. But hey, speaking of that, I guess I need to make my disclaimer.
Yeah, go on ahead and get that out.
So
of the way.
yes, I am a city employee with the city of Lawrenceburg, and today I'll share opinions and views, and they are just that. They are opinion and views that I have, and in no way, shape, or form are they to reflect the city of Lawrenceburg or the Lawrenceburg Police Department.
Good job. Good job.
There should be an acronym for that. I should just be able to go blah and be legally covered.
Yeah, try that next time.
But anyways, O'Rourke, I'm glad you're here today, buddy.
Well, thank you.
So, so you was asking me right before we went live what's going to be our topics of discussion. I'm still holding out on the day when you walk in and you got a list and you're like, dude, I've got a whole hour's worth of stuff to talk about.
I'll introduce him to ChatGPT.
Okay. So,
Perfect.
see, I don't even have to explain myself. All of our listeners and watchers out there, I can't tell you how many times I have come to this radio station prepared to just like bring in the gospel. But then he likes to tell stories. I can have 27 bullet points over here. I mean, just stuff that Fox News would be dying to have. And then he tells 6 stories, and guess what? Our hour's up. I got like 2 bullet points. Don't come at me with that. You know better, and you're smiling because you know
Yeah,
better.
you count in 2 or 3 stories and a couple of soapbox
Oh my gosh! And it's like, all right, 3 minutes, and it's like
breaks.
The
I
time
know. I'm
Sounds like
guilty.
Megan Kelly with Tucker Carlson.
Anyway,
I'm not going there.
anyway, so
You can figure out which is which.
Yeah.
did you see our night scramble pictures that we put on social media?
No,
you know
sir.
we had our night golf scramble.
I know I wasn't
Saturday
invited.
night. Well, you got to get a team. And you're on the DL, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But
Right.
you gotta have a team.
How'd you not scramble go? I'm sorry, I didn't lead into
Well,
support
up
the question.
until this year, our reserve deputy program, they raise money every year to be able to buy equipment to outfit our reserves. Our reserves work for free, and they come out and they support the full-time deputies, which in turn supports the general public because they help us
Right.
do what we're supposed to do, and they do it for free. They come out on their own time. And now back in the day when I was a young deputy, we our reserve deputies would show up
Back in
and
'89 when he gave up his parachute pants.
Yeah.
how long after? Just a couple years. No, when the reserve deputy program back then would show up, I mean, you might see one come in with blue jeans and maybe a uniform shirt and a hat with a star on it and a 38. And then somebody else would come in and they would have a whole uniform with a Kevlar vest and a gun belt and all the stuff, you know. It's like anybody could be part of the reserve program if you could pass the background and all the other stuff, but depending on how much stuff you had, depending on how much money you had.
Right.
So if you know, if a guy came in and he was completely outfitted with everything like a regular deputy, you know, he was probably pretty well off and he could afford to buy his own stuff. And then you see a guy come in and just a shirt and a 38 on his hip and a hat with a star, you know, badge on it. But anyway, it's not like that anymore. We have a whole program that raises money. We used to have the rodeo. I don't know if y'all remember the rodeo, and not saying anything negative about the rodeo, but it was a whole lot of work, and the profit turnaround wasn't.
It was a good show. It was a good show, but the margins weren't as
right. You know,
big as what we make with the golf.
I know what the problem was, but go ahead, Ted, finish your story.
Well, there was a whole lot of work and not a lot of return. So. Anyway, I mean, when people know that I play golf, and so we mentioned, why don't you have a golf scramble? Everybody loves to play golf scrambles. You get a little chance to win something and some bragging rights, and so we started doing that probably in 20. I don't know, what is this, 25? We probably started doing
22 or 3.
Well, the first golf scramble was probably 22,
22, 23, yeah,
something like that. And then it's number one, it's hard to get the right time of year to get the best turnout for the golf scramble. So anyway, we decided this year just to have a night scramble. And for people that don't know what a night scramble is, it's set up so you play 9 holes before dark, and then you have a break where everybody comes in and eats and hangs out for an hour or two. And then that gives the workers time to set the front 9 up for the night scramble. And then when it gets dark, everybody goes out to their holes, and you play the 9 holes after dark with the glow-in-the-dark balls and all that stuff. So it's a whole lot of fun, and it takes about 7 hours to play the front 9, break, and then play the back 9. And it's $85 a person is what the fee was. So, I mean, where else can you have 7 hours of entertainment, acting like a kid, running around in a little golf cart, smacking a glow-in-the-dark ball down the fairway? And then the downside is you're limited on how many teams you can have because you split it. You play 1 9 before dark and 1 9 after. So the max amount of teams you can really have is 18, and that's 2 teams going off on each 9 holes. But you're almost guaranteed to fill that up because people just love night scramble, especially when it's July and it's hot out and it's nice warm summer evenings. So we put it out there not long ago, and I mean, it filled up in no time.
Had a good time? We
did. Like I said, it was a packed house. We got teed off at 4:00, got the back 9 in, come in, ate, hung out, and sat around out in the parking lot and laughed and told jokes. Just sit there and waited on it to get dark, and then when it got dark, everybody went out and we played the other 9 and came in.
Who ended up winning?
We did. Of course. I mean, we win it every year, but we always donate the money back. You know, it's not like we're taking the money. You know, it's a donation. It's
How many mulligans did you come up with?
No, we don't have mulligans. Mulligans slows it down. You know, no mulligans. We just went out there and I made like four putts at night with the glow in the dark ball that I probably couldn't have made if I'd putted it 10 times in the daytime.
I can believe that.
But I'm a better putter
I've played
at night
with him
than I am in the day, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, we had a good time, had a good turnout.
We didn't tell you they make the holes as big as a table.
we raised, I don't have the number, but it was somewhere between, I want to say it was around $8,000, $8,000.
Oh, good.
So that money goes right into the account, and that goes towards, badges and belts. And
you want to know what it was?
The exact amount?
It was like 7,100.
Oh, so I was close.
There you go, yeah.
I said 7 or 8.
Man, you can do a lot with 71, especially, in the reserve program, because that's, a lot of us out there, that's how we got started. And I can remember making a choice. Am I going to go on vacation and do a couple of cool things. Like I was 19 when Crouch let me come on board in Sheriff Dornan, and I can remember making the decision because I didn't want to be that guy that showed up looking, shaggy and didn't have all his stuff together, because back then, I mean, not as far back as he was talking, but like in 2004, we were still, the only thing we got from the sheriff's department was 2 uniforms, and an asp holder.
You got to be very particular when you say that word.
Asp holder. Yes. I mean, we had to buy our own gun. We had to buy our own duty belt, all of our leather accessories, our ballistic vests, our boots. I take that back. They gave us a hat too. So, I mean, between the Glock 31 that we bought back then, and I mean, I'm talking to the choir here. Long story short, you're going to be in radio too. They didn't supply radio. You're going to be in $1,800, $2,400.
Say probably anywhere around $200 to $2,500
in the blink of an eye. Yeah. Not to mention being 19 and you want to have all the cool stuff that 35-year-old that's full time with the police department has. So yeah, I had to make some decisions as a young man. I was either going to look good and have good safety, tools to work with, or go on vacation that year. But now that y'all got this going, I know why you rodeo ain't doing good. And you want me to tell you on there or off there? I mean, I go ahead and help you. You didn't have Abigail.
Well, that's that's no brainer.
There's only one person in this county that can bring that type of rodeo crowd.
That's true. We don't have Abigail.
Maybe you should retain her.
I like the golf scramble. I like the night scramble.
We'll do both.
So it's working, and the guys are happy. If they're happy, I'm happy. So I'm not. Yeah, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it, Blake.
Well, but at the same time, when the sheriff wins his own scramble, John, some people.
Well, I got a stacked team. What can I say?
Yeah.
When that's probably one of that's a standard question during the hiring process now is when you come golf. What's your handicap? I mean that might be a deal breaker. You might come in and be totally squared away, but when I ask you your handicap and you say, I don't even know what a handicap is. Okay, well, we'll be in touch. You have a nice day.
The makeup question is, do you hunt?
Do you hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah, or do you have property? That's another one. So it's been since we haven't been on here since the 4th of July, or have we?
No, we haven't.
I didn't think we had.
That's been 10 days ago.
What about all the firework accidents around the county?
A bunch this
year. There was several. Yeah, several reports. People getting burned and
with serious
being
injuries.
live flighted and going to the emergency room.
And it wasn't just around here. Nationally, it was up.
I was going to make a video, like I did for New Year's Eve. Remember the video where I talked about us offering a sober ride, and I went over the stuff you didn't need to have in your pocket when we got there to give you a ride, because we was going to search you before we put you in the car.
Right.
So I started to do one for the 4th. And I ran out of time, and I didn't have, the idea was I was going to lay a bunch of fireworks on the tailgate of one of our pickups, and I was going to go down through there about do's and don'ts with each particular one. And I can speak about a lot of this from personal knowledge, because I was one of those kids that, if the best part about the 4th of July was the bottle rocket war.
Oh, absolutely.
That you had with your cousins and your buddies, that went on for like 3 straight days.
Yeah.
And you saved all kinds of stuff, for the in-between rounds, My favorite thing is I would take one of those 100 packs of Black Cat firecrackers, and I would roll that up in duct tape and twist all the fuses up and make one big fuse, and then I'd run up to your position like a suicide bomber, and I would lob that in at your feet, try to disorient you while I got in position to hit you with a Roman candle,
You started turning to be a Marine early.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the idea, is we was going to talk about, some of the stuff that you didn't want to shoot at your friend, that you just wanted to like shoot in the area of them.
Yeah.
And then
area.
The sneak up on your buddy and shove a Roman candle down his cargo pocket and run off. All that stuff. You can't do that now, but we did it back then. But that was the idea, is I was going to make that kind of a comic, kind of a
Does your eye doctor watch us? Or listen to us? Because if he does,
not.
there's light bulbs going off in his head right now, being like, "That's the reason that his retinas cannot stay attached."
The bigger person he doesn't want listening is his insurance agent.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, we used to have some big times, but it was that I think there was probably seemed to me like there was more than a half dozen reported serious accidents in our area.
And I may have shared this with you, but the most common way somebody gets hurt by fireworks is from the sparkler. A lot of people don't realize that. There are more sparkler injuries than every other firework combined. And it's the first firework we give to our kid.
Yeah.
It burns at 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the first one that we're like, "Here, Johnny, no, keep it away from your eyes."
Did you see the? And I think it was a TikTok video of the little kid. And I mean, the kid was definitely not old enough to be shooting any kind of a firework, but the mama gave him a Roman candle, and he's standing there holding it. And I mean, he's not that tall. He's like a toddler. And she's trying to light it, and she's getting on to him because he keeps moving. She says, "Be still." She lights it. He runs in the house with it.
No, he don't.
And then you can hear it going off, and people screaming in the house. It's one of the funniest ones out there.
And my favorite firework TikTok is "Put It in Reverse," Terry. I swear
yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen it 1,000 times. I can watch it 1,000 more. Anyways, we'll give.
So, training. Man, y'all been training. Y'all been doing some serious training.
Segue.
Yeah, there it is. Floor's open.
You've been, and I think most people know this. I ran hard on that both times in 2018 and 2022. More better. That was like my theme, as far as training. More better, more training, better training, more better training, and we've been doing it. We had, what'd y'all have the week before last? Alert? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, a few weeks ago we had alert training, but it was not just the operated course, it was actually the county integrated. So that was something I've been working on for the last couple of years, was trying to launch a process to get county-wide training in active threats. And so we were able to do that a few weeks ago. It was a couple of days training, but it included everything from dealing with an active killing event to once that event is over, treating casualties, evacuating casualties, communications between the different organizations, everything from how to park your vehicles, where to park your vehicles, incident commands, and people taking charge, and how to communicate, and that type of stuff. So it was really good. That is just my launching point. This is something that I'm passionate about, and at minimum it'll be once a year, but I want to incorporate other things along the way that will build up to that annual training in between. So it was really good.
So walk us through that process. That was at the high school, right?
We did it over at LCHS. So thank you to Lieutenant Dorning and Mr. Adkins for allowing us to use the facility, especially with everything they've got going on with trying to get the school ready for.
Well, I came that one day, and y'all were in the classroom, and it looked like, and I couldn't stay long because I had to grab the chief deputy for a minute, but it looked like y'all was assigning teams or something.
Mm-hmm. So we had the sheriff's department, we had other law enforcement, we had EMS, and we had fire. So each organization had a specific role, of course, and so I think when you showed up, we were talking about that and what it was going to look like, and comms between what law enforcement would be communicating out to incident command to get what we would call a ready task force to come in and start to evacuate the injured, and the safety corridor that would have to be set up to be able to do that. And so you establish different teams within the organizations that have different responsibilities in in dealing with those events. And so I think when you came in, we were talking about that.
So that's, I mean, this training is the exact training that we would apply if we ever did have an active shooter incident in one of our schools. I mean, that for me, my kids are grown up and they're out of school, but for the parents, that watch the show and listen, I mean, it's got to give them a little bit of peace of mind knowing that we're on top of this and we're training for it, because it's real easy to sit around and talk about it and say, well, I'd do this or I'd do that. It's real easy to do that. But to go hands on and actually have role players and do the heavy lifting at the school, when I think it's great. I mean, I'm glad you're doing it.
It's hard to imagine. So even during training, people were surprised at the chaos that was present, and this is in a controlled environment. So when you think about an uncontrolled environment, think about the chaos that's going to be happening and having to manage that. And that was really what that focus of that class was about, is how as a county do we manage the chaos and effectively deal with, the active killing event, neutralizing that threat is 5% of the problem. The rest of the 95% is really, it's about saving lives and dealing with the injured and communicating with the public and
movement. I would say how many students do we have that go to the high school?
When I was going to say, when I was there, it was around 12, and I think they're around 14 now.
Yeah. I think it's about 1400.
And this is big. I mean,
you look at the campus too. You look at the size of the campus just at our high school. How many different buildings are on the campus?
Yeah, just the main building is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Especially when you're officer 1 or officer 2, and you're just walking through them front doors. They've got the A building, the C building. I think they've got a D building now, as a matter of fact, listed actually on the plat. But man, I can't tell you how happy I am to hear that this is something that y'all are going to be implementing yearly, because some of you older folks know that back in the day in law enforcement,
he's older than I am.
Well, you don't look it. Back in the day, seriously, let's say you were a good cop, but you've did your thing, you've had your spiel, you want your last 5 years in this career to, you want to coast out. You looked for a school. You look to become an SRO officer. Well, unfortunately, we've had some really bad people in this world to do some really bad things at schools. And then the light bulb starts going off. Hey, maybe we don't need to put Pawpaw with 36 years of, law enforcement experience under his belt. Why can't we have that guy that's still active in the military that can run a 4.640 and is built like, a body lifter and stuff? And I tell you, Florida is one of the first states that actually seen pave the way on this. Florida actually makes it an effort to put prime police officers in the schools, because Florida also seen what happens if you don't have a prime SRO officer, the kind of backlash they can get.
When you say prime, it takes a different kind of law enforcement officer to be an SRO.
Absolutely.
And we're fortunate. Our county stepped up under the last administration and foot the bill to put a county deputy in every school in the county. Well, then you fast forward to 3 years ago, our governor started funding the SRO program across the state. So now,
did he do that before or after Covenant? I can't remember. He funded that before Covenant.
There was another bill that he did after Covenant.
Okay, good.
Prior to he did fund the SROs.
So for us, every year we get a check from the state, and it's $1,050,000, and that goes into our account, and that's what we pay our SRO program with. Awesome. The money from the state. So the state totally picked it up. And we're glad they did, because when you look at, for us, we got 15 schools, 14 or 15?
14 schools, 15 SROs.
Yeah, we got
the lieutenant that's running it.
Right. And
not to count the private schools. So that's just
correct.
15
That's just
public,
that's
14
county.
public schools.
That's
Yeah,
county
that's the 14
schools.
public.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I can't say enough good things about our SROs. They've got a difficult job, and like I said, it's not a regular law enforcement job.
Right.
And I've got one that we put in a school last year, I guess it was, and he was I don't want to say reluctant, but maybe that is a good word. But he was thinking, well, I'm gonna do this for a year, and then I want to go back to patrol. Well, anyway, we went to him, back after school let out and said, well, I mean, are you thinking you still want to go to patrol? No, I want to stay as SRO. And that's the norm, I've had, there's 2 more deputies that I've got that are assigned to the SRO program that were a little wishy-washy about doing it. And then when they got in there, now they love it.
Well, so here's the thing. It's one part of law enforcement where, I guess you could almost call it like a dual agency. On one hand, you've got the greatest responsibility, and that is protecting our children. And then on the other hand, you have got the privilege of going to work every morning and dealing with the good people of society. That's one thing I always loved about working school traffic in the morning time is I got to interact with those that are still innocent, still pure-hearted, and will smile at you before you smile at them.
Mm-hmm. I went through a refresher. I had to go to that 3-week refresher class when I got back in law enforcement because I'd been out for a little while. And I went through a guy that was in that same refresher class with me, and he was an SRO. And I remember him telling me, he used the phrase, he said, you're a rock star every day.
Every day.
Every day when you walk in the building, you're a rock star.
You certainly have the opportunity to be.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about the touch points that you have with those little people in those lives and the influence that you can have. Similar to a coach. You played sports, and some of the most influential people in my lives were coaches.
Mm-hmm.
SROs have that same opportunity.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I'll be out there fist bumping in the morning, and I hear the question, you know what I want to be when I grow up? Well, I started at first being like, if you say fireman, I'm going to push you down. But
hey,
I mean, like you said, you're right. They want to be you when they grow up.
Everybody loves firemen too.
That's why I'm like, yeah, fireman.
I mean, dadgum. I mean, we got the job where we're probably more hated than other people. I mean, I tell people, look, if it's all about hurting somebody's feelings, go be a fireman or sell ice cream. One of the two, Everybody loves them.
Do both.
And don't get me wrong, y'all know I love my firemen, but
yeah,
but no.
I'm not saying anything negative about them. I'm just saying that they don't have enemies like law enforcement,
Right.
Well,
but yeah, getting back to topic. I mean,
some people that would argue that after what happened last week or the week before.
What happened?
What happened?
Or they I can't remember what state it was. They got the firemen got the call and they were ambushed.
Oh, that was Idaho.
Yes, man,
Idaho,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
say Iowa, but I thought I was wrong.
Yeah, that guy was just
Thankfully, those are one-offs, but it's
And to have their back, what'd the firemen do to them? I mean, I can understand somebody,
he was just
going through a psychosis, wanting to pop off rounds at the police, but why mess with the firefighter?
They were targets of opportunity. That's all.
That's a coward.
That's all it was. There's one fireman in our county, and there's 2 of them actually, and I won't call them out, but we were on a call and we had a drunk who was purposely trying to burn down his house and I think his brother's camper.
Awesome.
We dealt with him numerous times, and so he was setting fires, and somebody, I don't know if it was his brother or neighbor, called him in. So the volunteer fire department went out there with their pumper truck, and then we got out there too. Well, the firefighter got the hose out, and he started putting out these little fires he was lighting. Well, he come over there and he's a big dude. He's well over 6 foot, and he's a big burly dude, and he's drunk and mad that they're putting out his fire. So he come over there and started, and he was really aggressively coming at him. Well, they just spun the hose.
Oh, they didn't.
And yeah, I mean, knocked his, you know what, in the dirt. Well, he gets up and he's soaking wet and he's even more mad. And every time he'd try to come at him, they'd just hit him again. And then they'd go back to putting out the fire. Then they'd hit him again.
That is hilarious.
He couldn't
I
do
mean,
anything
after a
about it.
while, you're just gonna be like, okay, I'm not gonna mess
Now
with
those
the firefighter.
and they know, and if they watch this, they'll know who they are. But they're probably not very well liked by that guy.
Okay, well, welcome to the party.
But
Yep.
yeah, he never got close to him. Every time he'd come at him, they just knock him back down with that hose.
That's hilarious.
It was great. Now, what was the training that we that y'all had a guy from where was the guy from that was doing some y'all doing some room clearing or some entry or what was y'all doing?
So the other thing we do annually is 2 or 3 days, depending on the instructor's availability. But I try to bring somebody else in outside of our organization to do refresher or advanced SWAT training. So the SWAT team last week was engaged with a lieutenant out of Humphreys County. His name is John Chapman, and this guy has been he's one of the elite. He's one of the guys that when the NTOA, the National Tactical Officer Association, if they need something, they'll call John, work him in, and ask his opinion, get him to help organize, develop, or whatever the case is. And then he's also one of the lead people with the TTOA, or the Tennessee Tactical Officer Association. But he's been a friend of mine for about 7 years. And he was available, so I got him to come in last week, and he did 2 days of advanced SWAT training with us. First day was on the range, just refining our firearms skills, both in accuracy, manipulation, and handling, and that type of stuff. And then the last day was refresher and advanced movements and room clearing and moving through buildings and that type of stuff. So it was really good training, and really appreciate him coming out. And the nice part about it was it didn't cost the county anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
So typically that training is going to run about $3,500 for that training. But Chappie, John Chapman, his name, we call him Chappie. Chappie started a foundation, TF70, Task Force 70, and that foundation's mission is to deliver training to rural counties, to rural police departments that don't typically have a lot of money in for training. And so he came out on the foundation's dime, did that training, and didn't charge us anything for that training, and it was good, down to a man. Everybody was very impressed with how that went. So
yeah, I came in on the I think it was the last day around lunchtime, and got to, when I wasn't on my phone doing 20 different things, I got to watch some of y'all moving through the rooms and stuff. I mean, it's a lot of people don't know that we have do we call our SWAT? Do we have a SWAT team? Is that what we call it? Or is it QRF or regional special operations unit?
Officially, we're called a tactical response team, and really that comes down to standards set by the National Tactical Officer Association. And basically it's based off of capabilities. And we don't have all of the capabilities to check mark to be called a quote unquote SWAT team. The missions are the same, but it's based off of capabilities that the teams have. So at the level that we are, we've determined that we would rather be officially called a tactical response team.
Gotcha.
So,
and how many deputies we got in that?
15.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually limit it to 15 because a SWAT team typically has, at minimum, is supposed to have 16. We put it at 15 to maintain that tactical response status.
Is there any situation that you could think of that we cannot handle?
Why don't we let the listeners just guess about that? Because I can see Bubba down in Iron City being like, boys, they told us they're not equipped for me today.
No, I mean, if you steal a helicopter, you know, and yeah, that might be an issue.
I mean, we're not going to be Halo jumping in. You know, probably not going to helicopter. You know,
Are
we're
we
not going to
somewhere-
rip a fast rope down from a helicopter.
So we're kind of somewhere between the Cub Scouts and
Rambo.
Navy SEALs.
yeah, there you go.
There you go. Right there.
So what I say this morning, we're not Delta Force, we're Echo Force.
Echo. Yeah. No, I've seen you guys work, and there any barricaded suspect, any hostage situation, any kind of active shooter, I feel confident we've got guys that can take care of business.
Yeah.
I would love to be part of the team. It's probably good that I'm too busy that I don't have the time to be part of the team. Even though I'm the sheriff and I'm over the sheriff's department and I'm technically over this TRT, I let those guys handle all that because if I was in any kind of a command situation with them, it would probably not be a good thing.
I could agree with that.
I mean, I can totally see. I mean, I was just talking to a guy the other day about new explosives. You know, there's a new gel explosive out there. It's a breaching explosive that you. If I had that 20 years ago,
Yeah, you'd be in prison. Yeah, I know that.
or worse, I'd be in prison.
You would be a
or
topic
worse.
at the ATF Academy, but like,
No,
okay,
I
ladies
mean,
and gentlemen,
the
John
whole-
Myers from Tennessee.
The
What do they say? Policies are based off of somebody?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, as the policymaker. Tactics have changed for a reason, and most of it is liability. A lot of people don't know that we don't carry automatic rifles anymore. We don't. We just don't have them. Even the 2 or 3 round burst rifles, we don't carry them because we're responsible for every bullet that exits the barrel, right?
Yeah. And
You
its
know?
final resting place.
And there's no. It's not in the military. I keep comparing everything to the military. There's no such thing as suppression fire in law enforcement.
No.
No, you can't do it. No,
Actually, there is.
Targeted fire.
Nah, there actually, and I thought I done lost my mind. Recognized by the Chiefs of Police Association. Well, I'm sorry, you said suppression fire.
Yeah.
I'm thinking warning shots. I didn't even know until about 2 years ago. You know when we do warning shots?
you can. Or
You
do.
can. As long as you have a policy on it and it's recognized and you train on it, you can have warning shots. And I'm like, they've done lost their mind by telling Blake Grooms they can give warning shots as long as
So
it's
it's up to the department to determine
yes, it's up to the department.
where you give them that warning.
We can't because I guess me and a couple other really cool guys are still at the police department. But yes, there is a spot out there. If you want to give warning shots, it's got to be in your policy. You've got to train on it, and probably have to have the district attorney recognize and so on and so forth. But you can play the warning shots.
Next thing.
Let's be clear that is for law enforcement. It is illegal in the state of Tennessee to use warning shots or to fire warning shots for civilians. So,
For a civilian.
yes, that is in the law.
What about shooting low?
I don't know.
Can you shoot low? Can you shoot at the leg? Do they teach that? Can you take the transmission out, shoot him in the knee?
I say our police needs to stick with
get
eliminating the threat.
I get
but,
asked that all the time. All the time. Why do y'all not teach your people when you have a situation and the guy is a threat? Yeah, say he's got a knife, not a firearm, a knife or a baseball bat or a machete or something, and he's coming at you. Why can't you take his legs out without killing him?
It's funny you say that because there was a California, there was actually 2 California incidents where this one police officer and had his stuff together and obviously is a great shot, but he tapped 2 different individuals in the kneecaps. One was holding a knife, and I think the girl was holding a screwdriver. And the first go around, they were like, "Oh, he's good to go." The second go around, they're like, "Okay, we don't need to do this no more." And he didn't get fired. He didn't get sued. I don't believe he got sued, but he got a lot of backlash. The DA's office wrote him a pretty nasty little
For shooting him in the leg?
for shooting him in the kneecap.
Well, I mean, if he was justified to terminate the threat,
and that was
why
the whole.
was he not patted on the back for just taking out his neck?
That was the whole topic on the table. Is she was within the 21-foot rule from him, and it looked like he would have been justified to put her down permanently. But, because of his demeanor, he's like, "Put it down or I'm fixing to shoot you. Put it down or I'm fixing to shoot you." And he's like, "Okay, I warned you." And he popped her in the knee. And, of course, she fell down, dropped the screwdriver. But, yeah, he got beat up pretty hard by other agencies, like I said, the DA's office.
What's your take on that, Lieutenant? I can hear his gears just turning over there.
So the problem you have, there are two things. First of all, you trying to hit a smaller target. I mean, look at me, okay? What do we got here? 3.5 inches? Trying to hit somebody in the arm or the shoulder. First, you have the issue of a round going through. Okay, you don't have a whole lot of muscle mass or meat that's going to stop it. So therefore, you've got a round that's going through the subject instead of stopping inside the subject. Second of all, it is only all of 3.5 inches. So try hitting 3.5 inches at 21 feet when you're under stress. That can be an issue. And second, you've got major arteries that go through your arms and your legs. So you're actually at a higher risk of hitting one of those major arteries and bleeding out more quickly than you are shooting somebody's center mass. So
yeah, but
there's pros and cons to everything, but
I'm just asking because I've been asked that before. And I know the answer. I mean, if you've got somebody that's advancing on you that's armed, I mean, yeah, we don't want to kill anybody, but I mean, we're trained to shoot center mass, and if you hit them center mass, they're more likely to go down than they are from hitting them in the leg or in the arm.
I agree.
But it's in reality, it's a judgment call. I think every situation is different. Do you remember the sniper that shot the gun out of the guy's hand?
Oh, that was sitting in the chair. That was great.
Yeah, blowed it out of his hand.
So, I had mentioned California. I had a conversation with a lady, and what was nice was that it was a conversation. She wasn't just, arguing to argue. And we had a conversation about that very thing. And I got to that point. We were sitting there talking, and she didn't realize people had walked in behind her. And I said, "Okay, so from this distance, you're 7 feet away. Let's say I shoot you in the arm." I said, "Do you think that round's going to go through your arm?" She said, "Probably." I said, "Okay. Do you think it's okay that if I shoot you in the arm and it goes through, that I hit somebody else and kill them?" "No." "All right, well, turn around." Little girl standing behind her. I'm like, that's why I wouldn't shoot you in the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the thing is, she started out the argument with, "Well, you guys are trained to kill." I said, "No, man, we're not trained to kill. We're trained to neutralize a threat." Okay. When I fire my weapon, I only want to stop a threat,
Right.
but I accept the consequences of the fact that my actions may take a life.
Mm-hmm.
And those aren't easy consequences to deal with. Right? It's not natural to want to take a human life.
It's not, and I think that's one thing that the community is realizing more and more through education. Is that way you put it perfectly? We're not trained to kill. We're trained to neutralize and do away with a threat to us or others. And if we were trained to kill, there would be no need for the rush to provide, first aid to the person we just got through shooting. If that was the situation, I don't know. I just watch TV and I get more aggravated every day.
Born to Kill. I like that one better than Trained to Kill. That's got a better ring. Born to Kill. What was the movie where the dude had that on his helmet?
What was that, Full Metal Jacket?
That was Full Metal Jacket.
Was it Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah. Born to Kill. I've been watching a lot of. I've been on a Western kick lately. I've been watching a lot of old Westerns. The old Clint Eastwood. All those one-liners he had in those Josie Wales and
The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
The Fistful of Dollars, and I mean the Pale Rider. All of them, man. They was just. I can sit and watch old Clint Eastwood westerns.
Did y'all ever see the
John Wayne.
the Duke? Did y'all ever see that old Western movie, The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean? I forgot not Paul Newman. I forgot who it was. Anyways, it was on Turner Classic Movies after The Good, Bad, and the Ugly the other night. And I mean, I laughed my tail off.
Good stuff.
I guess my favorite westerns always going to be Blazing Saddles.
That's still a good one, man. But you got to look hard to find it because there's not a lot of channels that play it.
There's going to be a bunch of people listening and go, Blazing Saddles, what is that?
Yeah, and they'll watch it. Have y'all been keeping up with the guy that got the 17-year-old out of DCS custody, signed the 17-year-old out and went down, was it in Mississippi?
Yeah.
And then they found the kid dead down there. So he was in jail for manslaughter, and just found out that they dropped the charges. I saw that today.
Now, is that the one they found in Giles County?
No, he was from Giles, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was being housed in Giles County, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe.
but his uncle took him down to Mississippi.
Yes.
So the news release said today that the manslaughter charges have been dropped against a Tennessee felon in the death of a 17-year-old nephew due to recent autopsy results. So what that tells me is the autopsy revealed that he died of something other than
else.
He wasn't killed, because I think he was found along a highway down there. And it was said, and I don't know who said it, but it was said that the uncle said he overdosed. So, without speculating too much, I mean, it almost looks like there might have been some truth to that since the charges was dropped. But it also says in the report that 2 DCS workers, one was fired and the other one resigned. Because that was the question everybody had, was how can this uncle with a rap sheet, with as long as it was, be able to sign out a 17-year-old from DCS custody?
Yep.
That was the question. I don't look too far into stuff, but you can pretty much pick it apart and see that. We had a case. How much time we got? 7 minutes. We had a case where we found a guy dead on the north end of the county. No visible signs of the cause of death, except for just some weird looking scratches on the back of the body. Well, as we're there processing the scene, a couple pulls up and they say, hey, we was just with this guy last night up the road at this house, and he got into a fight with the guy up here at the house. So we go up there and we get the guy out and we start talking to him. And his story was that, they were doing drugs, and then they got into a fight, and the suspicious looking scratches on his back was really from a car antenna that he'd snapped off a car and like was striping him with it, as he was leaving. And he said, last time I seen him, he was perfectly fine. He was walking up the road. I told him to get out of here. Well, then we find him dead like a tenth of a mile away on the side of the road. But he was arrested and charged, and then when the ME's report come back, that he died of an overdose. So there was some truth, a lot of truth to what the guy told us. We had the charges were later dismissed, and he was set free. So that kind of sounds like maybe the same set of circumstances, since they dropped the charges.
Yeah,
but
I hadn't heard that.
But the issue was that the DCS workers let the uncle sign him out into custody. Who knows what would have happened? If he wouldn't have been able to got him out of custody, maybe the 17-year-old would still be around. I don't know.
That's just a sad
My
situation.
question would be, 17 years old coming out of DCS custody, he's with his uncle for 24 hours. How does he get the drugs?
Well, and again, what I was told was that it was a family member gave him the drugs. I believe it was fentanyl.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, no, it's another senseless death. I'm telling you, the fentanyl is still like the most serious dangerous drug that we still have in our county, and and I don't see it going away.
I mean, that's yeah.
I hope and I say this all the time. I hope I see the day when it's so expensive nobody can afford it. And that just means something else will come down the pike, and
That's what I was thinking to say.
it'll be just as bad, if not worse. But it's one step at a time with this stuff, But we can charge people with murder now if you sell somebody, you're selling fentanyl to somebody and they overdose and die.
Mm-hmm.
It's a second-degree murder charge. We've actually charged someone and they got convicted of it. So I mean, we're taking the right steps to eradicate this stuff, but man, I'm telling you what, I've seen people that are high on it, and it's crazy. Even the hospital grade fentanyl. I think I told you this story that when I had a little outpatient surgery over at Wayne County, they gave me fentanyl before they took me to the operating room. She said, "We're going to give you a little bit of this fentanyl to make you comfortable, Sheriff." And she said, "I know what you're thinking. This is the good stuff. This is the stuff that this is why we have it. This is what it's meant for." And I said, "Okay." She put that stuff in my arm, and I mean, it wasn't that much in a little syringe. She said, and it was like I floated up on a cloud, and I was just floating down the hallway. And I remember thinking, you could decapitate me right now, and I'd laugh at you the whole time. I mean, it was just the most amazing. I mean, it was just and I thought for just like a tenth of a second, this is why people get strung out on this stuff.
I still don't understand it. And I've been there. I had surgery not too long ago, and fentanyl was one of the things that they were pushing that day, and I was like, well, maybe I get to experience what the old sheriff was talking about. No, I can just remember him like, all right, you ready? Breathe into this. He's like, he just gave me something. He's like, all right, breathe into this. And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. No floaty feeling.
I've tried to count. They say just start at 10, count your way back, and I've tried to fight it. I remember I've had conversations with him before. I'm not going out this time. You can't give me enough to knock me out. I'm gonna fight this all the way. I'm gonna be awake the whole time.
Yeah.
I remember when I had back surgery, I actually asked them, I'm like, where do most people make it? She said, usually don't make it past 7. I'm like, I'm gonna do it.
There's this.
No, you can feel it. You can feel that tingling, and then you get that. It's like in the back of your throat. It's kind of like a oxygen, like a chemical taste in the back of your throat. Yeah. That's the last thing I remember is the tingling and that.
I don't think I got below 9.
There's this chick on TikTok, and I mean, she's fixing to have surgery or something, but she appears to be part of the medical team, and she is doing her dead level best to out-talk anesthesia. And I mean, buddy, bless her heart. I mean, at first it's like she's just as clear as I am, just as clear and precise, and she's talking and she's giving it her best bet. But she did pretty good. But it is hilarious if you ever watch it. It's fun.
Real quick, I got a little.
We got 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, I got just a little bit of news. I met with the new security supervisor at the hospital today. They're getting a new security company that's moved in up there. They're going to be able to, they've got less lethal. They're going to be able to go hands-on with a patient that's being belligerent or combative or whatever. Not saying anything bad about the last security company that was there, but I think they had a no touching policy, which is, I don't know why that, I don't know who would think that would be effective in a hospital, but anyway, met with him, and I think they're going to start in a week or two.
Yeah, the 20th,
something like that. So, and I mean, we all know the calls at the ER have been, seems like they've been on an increase lately. Patients with psychological problems have been on the increase lately. We've been dealing with a lot of it. It's just every summer, and as the longer and hotter the summer gets, it seems like the worse it gets. But seemed to be a really good dude, and they're excited, and I think it's going to help us out dealing with patients at the hospital.
I hope so. There's a lot of calls out there.
It's going to be good. Well, we're down to 30 seconds. Anybody got a movie quote? Anybody got what was the one? Was it Pale Right? No, it was Josie. What one of my favorite one? Remember the scene where they're on the horses and the kid's shot and he's laying under the blanket and the two like rednecks come up, and he says, "I got Josie Wells," and the kid starts laying there under the blanket and he says, "Pa, is that you, Pa? Pa, is that you?" He says, "I got the gold right here." And he walks over and he pulls the blanket back and he shoots him. And then Clint Eastwood shoots the other one. Then he spits on him. Then he says, "We gonna bury these boys?" And he says, "Nah, hell with them boys. Buzzards and worms got to eat too." That's the best line in the whole movie. All right, we got to go.
Oh, y'all have a great day.
All right, we gone.
See ya.